I think I'm here. I made
Hey,
it.
what's good? You made it,
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
how you?
Wow.
I was so nervous. I was like, what's going on? What's happening?
Me too. I was trying to get in. I saw
I
you
think
sending me the request
okay, I
and
think we were doing it at the same time. So I'm like, oh snap, what happened? I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
it's all right. It's all right. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. Let me introduce myself. My name is Chastity Buckley. I am the host of Midnight Love Edition. It's an honor and dedication of
Okay,
Midnight
okay.
Love BET. And I want to introduce you, Mr. L'Jai Robinson from the iconic group Profile that I love since I was a little girl. And all your friends,
Wow.
fans is also
Wow.
on the live today. So
Wow.
I'm just excited
Wow.
and just happy. And we're going to be celebrating the
Wow.
20th anniversary of Nothing But Drama, y'all sophomore album from
Nothing
your
but
group.
drama.
Oh my God. I can,
Nothing but
how
drama.
do you,
Yeah.
20 years. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very
Anytime.
much. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited. My brother from Louisiana, I'm from Baton Rouge, so.
Oh, for real? Yeah. Yeah. I go there a lot.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
just too excited. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm so excited for
Absolutely.
your group for making this iconic album that I really truly adore. Even though I was 11 years old and didn't get a chance to listen to it, I finally got to listen to it, and I was just amazed. I was just loving the album, just love that gumbo soul that y'all put out there back in 2000. So I
Thank
want
you.
to, no problem,
Thank you.
anytime. I want to play a game with you called Truth or Lie. Since today
Okay.
is the album's 20th album and your iconic song Liar, I want to play Truth or Lie with you
Okay.
and see what you know about Profile or anything dealing with your group.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
so my first question, is it true that your group was a special guest on Jerry Springer?
That's a lie.
Do you
Yeah, we was never on Jerry Springer. We was on Jenny Jones
Mhm.
and Ricky Lake, but we never went on Jerry Springer.
Very good. That's correct. Y'all were on JD Jones.
Yeah.
I actually watched the clip I think last week or something, and I seen that your group, I don't know if y'all were helping dating people or whatever like that, but I was cracking up and it was so funny and I thought it was so amazing that y'all were on Jenny Jones. So I was like, wow, Profile, y'all was really out there.
She actually like requested us a few times. We went there like I think like 5 times because she loved us. Yeah,
Wow.
she asked us to come back a lot.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that was interesting. So were y'all on there when the song was really big? Like when nothing
No, this was during the first album.
oh, Whispers in the Dark. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And a lot
yeah,
of people don't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that y'all made the album. I was introduced to y'all through Liar. I didn't even know about the first album.
hmm
That is interesting.
Well, I'm glad you went back. I'm really glad that you went back
Hmm.
and listened to that album because it was a really good album. It was just we was too young to be singing that type of music.
Right.
You know what I mean? During that time,
Hmm.
it was too the music was too grown for us.
Right.
So
Right. Right. I hear that a lot.
and our crowd kind of what you
Oh no,
say?
no. I was saying correct. I understand. I agree with you.
hmm And like our crowd during that time, they started telling us like, we like y'all, but these songs is like we don't like this. So that's what made us go back and kind of regroup on the second album with our A&R Shantae Page.
Yeah, and shout out to Shantae Page. She gave y'all so much love today. Y'all have gotten so much love on my page. Jonte Austin has
hmm
well congratulated y'all. Troy Oliver, he congratulated y'all. You have so much
hmm
love. I was just so excited to see so much stuff y'all had from this album. So I'm just really just proud of y'all and just love this. And like I said, I didn't know about the first album. So when I did my research on y'all, I was like, wow, girl. I was like, I've been out for a minute. So
Yeah, yeah,
y'all
yeah.
21 years.
They've been around.
Yeah, y'all definitely have. So my next question for Truth or
Yeah.
Lie is it true that Tierra Marie quoted your song on Love and Hip Hop Reunion? Is it true?
That's true. That was true. I don't know if she knew that she was quoting it because a lot of people like to put those words together.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if she knew she was quoting that song, but yeah, she did say
Yes,
that.
that is correct.
So
She did. She was
yeah,
doing it at the time when
that's
she was
true.
dating this dude who was married and all this stuff like that. And it was so iconic because Black Twitter went in. They was like, "Oh no, she didn't quote Profile." Like they would really put your group in that quote. So it was just so dope. You had
Well,
Black Twitter
thank you.
supporting y'all.
That's good. That's good.
Yes,
I'm
it
black. I
was.
hope they support us.
It was. And then how do you feel that people from Love and Hip Hop remember your lyrics or, just understood that Liar was such an iconic song?
Just to be remembered at all, it's an
Hmm.
honor to me. You know what I mean? Like that's why you do it.
Mm.
You want to go down in history and people remember the work that you put in, and even if it's a small piece, it's a piece.
Right. I agree 100%.
It's a piece.
Right. I agree 100%. Yeah, I do. So let's see what number 3. So number 3 is it true that on the album Nothin But Drama, the song No Trickin' was featured with Lil' Kim? Is that true?
That's a lie.
That's correct. That's
No,
correct.
that was Rashida.
Yep.
That was Rashida.
That was Rashida. How did y'all get Rashida on the album? That was interesting. I was shocked because I've never even heard of Rashida till 2005.
Relationships.
Oh.
Shantae Page knew her.
Okay.
Yeah, she knew her and Kirk at the time. Like we met her at her record company that they had at the time in Atlanta.
Okay.
And that was way before she got on the record. Like,
wow.
When we sent her the record, she got right on it.
Wow. So, I think that's
again, that was based on a relationship that she had with Shantae.
I think that's dope because when I seen the writing credits and I seen the people y'all had featured, I was shocked y'all had Monifa. I was just shocked y'all had Joe. I had to look back and I didn't even know Joe was on the album. So I just thought it was so dope that y'all had Rashida on there because at that time, to say y'all knew Rashida like my age, I didn't know Rashida till Bubblegum. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So for y'all to have like a person like Rashida on there, I just think that was dope. Great job.
Yeah, it was. Like we were just glad she was able to do it and she wanted to do it. So.
That's dope. That's really, really dope. So question number 4, is it true that the week your group went number 1 for the iconic song Liar, did y'all beat Janet Jackson?
We did.
That's true. That's correct.
That's true. It's true. Billboard.
Yep, y'all did.
Check it out.
Y'all beat Janet Jackson. Yeah. I was just so amazed when I seen the picture of the Billboard when y'all went number 1. Y'all beat Janet. Y'all beat Erica. Y'all beat so many iconic groups that people that came before y'all. How did it feel for your song Liar to be number 1 at that time?
No, like you don't know how to feel when stuff like that happens. Like this stuff, like you ain't never dreamed of stuff like this happening to you. So
yeah,
it's like what? But we knew we had to keep working because. It's easy to get 1 number 1 record. It's hard to get 2, 3, 4, and 5. So
exactly.
That's the testament to the greatness that those people put out there in the world. So.
Right. Well, how did it feel beating Michael Jackson's little sister though? Like y'all beat her.
Hey, at the time we was excited. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't front. It was again, you never dreamed that you'll be in that spot.
Yeah.
Never dreamed that you'll open up Billboard and see your record. Especially being from Shreveport, Louisiana, like we were. You know what I mean? Like so.
Right.
Yeah, it was like wow.
Right.
Look, bro, look at this.
That's amazing. And I wanted to know, are y'all like the first group from like first R&B group ever from Louisiana? Because I just feel like y'all are the first group. Wow.
Yeah. We was the first R&B group from Shreveport. I think you had like Master P had put out a group.
But R&B wise, y'all the first.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dope. That is dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
We put in a lot of work though. I came from we had a lot of support from like promoters and the manager that we had at the time, and you know they did a lot. We put in a lot of legwork. We had to travel this region so much, like to even get noticed.
Right,
so.
right, definitely.
And that's before the internet and Twitter and Facebook. You had to organically go out there and shake hands and sing for people at KFC, at the gas station. You had to always be ready. Wasn't no auto-tune. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, I agree.
I'm just saying, like, but even before us, I'm not just saying from Shreveport, there's a lot of great artists that knew about just singing, like real singing, like without all the extras.
I agree.
You know,
I agree 100%. And I think that's what makes y'all group so iconic and so deep. Because y'all come from the good R&B gospel roots and background of singing. And that's what we love to listen to. Like I said, in my heart, I feel like that's where real singers come from. I call y'all singers. I don't call y'all singers. Y'all are singers. And when it comes to that, the melodies and, you know, harmonies of sounds, especially with males, you got to listen to that. And I've always said myself, Brandy is one of my favorite artists. And like I said, growing up for me.
Mine too.
Yes.
Mine too.
And like for me, when I listen to singers, I want to hear you sing. So when you can sing something, I just feel it in my heart, my soul, and my body. So if you can do all 3 of those things, you're a real singer to me. And that's just me in general.
And that's something I tell any vocalist or any artist out here right now. Like you ain't gotta do all the church runs, but you gotta make people feel something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of people out here that's just they sing in church and they come from church and they doing all that every note in the scale. And it's like, hey,
right.
that's cool at church, but when you get out here in front of people that don't attend church that much and they don't care about that, they want to hear the song they hear on the radio.
Right.
So please keep it right there.
Okay, you better preach. You better preach.
Yeah.
Let these people know. Let them know. Let these people that won't be singers know. Okay. So my last.
I'm just saying if you want to work, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, I agree because they need this advice, and I think people that want to work want to do what?
You just want to, if you singing cover music or you coming up with your own music, just keep it simple, man.
Right.
Like, just let your light shine and keep it simple. You ain't got to do all that. You can know it. You don't have to do that in the studio. Joe taught us that. Joe's the person that taught us that.
Wow.
And if you go back and you listen to Joe's first album, you hear him doing a bunch of that stuff. I'm talking about on his very first album. Yeah, but if you listen to the album after that, Joe was very calm. The music was very sensual. It was more about the ambiance. It was more about the mode that you're setting for the music.
Right.
So, and a lot of people don't get that.
Right. I agree 100%. And so my last question for Truth or Lie, Mr. LJ, is it true that Profile made the list of the top 21 classic songs from Teddy Riley on Essence magazine? Is that true?
I think that could be true because it's a #1 record. So
that is actually true. In 2018,
yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but when they did an honor for Teddy Riley around Essence time, they did his top 21 classic songs, and y'all made the list. So I was really, really honored with that.
I did not know this, but I'm so wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you made the list. Y'all made the list. I think y'all were number 11 on the list. But I think that just speaks so many volumes because when I did find that, I was like, wow. I thought it was so iconic. And yeah, it was in 2018. Y'all made it.
Because you know the people that he worked with, you know the people that he worked with, like
Michael Jackson.
Like Michael Jackson. Yeah, Bobby Brown.
Yep. And y'all were on that list.
I loved him. Yeah, I loved him.
So yeah, I definitely wanted to let y'all know that because I feel like people, you're not forgotten. I think the thing about Profile is y'all were one of the iconic groups that really set the tone in 2000. And I think the reason why I wanted to honor y'all and really respect your legacy is because y'all really, really made timeless classic music for, our generation. And I think at a time we were getting ready to come in a new millennium, we didn't know where music was going. It was going in so many directions. We were getting ready to be in a new 21st century. So for that, when I realized y'all were coming to make the 20th anniversary of, Nothin But Drama, I was like, wow, I have to really, really, get these guys because y'all were so dope. And y'all were so, amazing. And I think Liar for me, at 11 years old, watching it in Dallas, Texas, I was like, what is this? This is new. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. And so at a time.
You in Dallas?
I'm in Arlington.
Okay. We was just in Dallas Thursday night.
Seriously? Oh, yeah, I seen it. You were on you and actually you went to one of your bandmates from Front Cover. I went to school with him. So dope.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamil.
Cool.
Yeah, I went to school with him.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
So,
nice. Yeah, he's dope.
Yes,
he's dope.
He's so dope. He's always been like that since we were in college together. And so Jamil's always been a talent, especially playing that guitar. He's always been. Yeah. I think bass. I'm sorry, I'm nice. Mixing nothing up.
Nah, he played guitar. He played guitar. He played electric guitar. That boy played guitar.
Wow.
And he plays guitar.
Yes, he does. And I remember he was just so dope back when we were when I was in school with him. And, for him being from New Jersey and coming from the South and playing the way he plays, I was just so dope with that.
Yeah, so, he light up a room.
Yes, he does.
He light up a room anywhere you go. Yeah.
And I'm just blessed you got him because, like I said, when I found out he was a part, I said, wait a minute, you talk about LJ from Profile? I mean, that's just iconic when we have people like you who are honoring and not even giving young folks a lot of talent. And so I appreciate that so much.
Hey man, it's an honor to have him by my side, man. Like when I met him, I called our music director for the band. I was like, man, you need to get him.
Yeah.
Like you need to call him. I met him at a blues show.
Oh wow, that is dope.
Yeah, I was singing background for a blues singer, and I seen him. I was like, hey, you need to call this dude. And he's been with us ever since.
That is so sweet. And I want to thank you so much for that because he represents Wiley College and he represents really true music. So thank you. I really truly appreciate that. So for me, that's why I'm doing my platform. I come from, HBCU and I want all my R&B artists and Black folks to get recognized. So that's the reason why I did this. And in honor of your album, I had to kind of go against you because, you had a male anthem. I have TLC on because I know you were kind of like.
It's cool. It's cool. we used to hear that a lot anyway. We used to hear
Y'all
that a
did?
lot.
Oh
Women used to say
wow.
that too. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
So in honor of
When
that,
Destiny Child had bills,
yeah, Bills,
when they
Bills,
had
Bills.
bills. Oh my god, I got so sick of that song.
Hey, you can't do my group like that, but hey, I gotta give you because I love Profile too. But I think I wanted to kind of honor you guys because I think in the 2000 when you came into this era and really just brought a new type of sound of what men and women were going through on the perspective of how they may have been mistreated or how they were feeling. I like that. So as we start our interview, I want to ask you, how are you dealing with the pandemic since everything has happened?
I have to say I've been blessed during it. It's been it gave me time to rest.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, cause before the pandemic, we was going real hard, like
Wow.
with the band stuff and just music in general, just in life, we were just going way too hard, drinking too much coffee, traveling too much, and not resting, and so I think the pandemic was a blessing in disguise. I think we as a country, as the world itself, we need to calm down for a second.
Right.
Like we need to calm down and take a stock of what's going on, really going on in your life, what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your spirit. So I've been using that time to kind of just get myself together, which I've been taking a long time to do that because it's been a long road. Because if you can't leave a situation like Motown and stuff like that, and then go through life and come back to regular life, people's expectations are very weird.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And when you try to live up to those expectations, that can drive you crazy. So getting to a point where you mentally together, like you know you're making the right decisions for you.
Right.
Not trying to please everybody, not trying to please the fans. Like they're gonna become fans. They're gonna be fans if they really fans.
All right.
But those people that's trying to manipulate you, trying to make you do certain things because they want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. And you can't people
I
please
just
everybody.
been to a place. I've been in isolation a lot. Yeah. So, and I'm pretty good, like staying to myself because I don't want to lash out at nobody because it's crazy. It's crazy out here.
Oh yes.
So what I've been doing, it's been good. It's been good. I've been getting better playing my instruments. So I've been working on my production. Me and Jamil, we've been working on some songs and stuff together. So it's giving me time to want to be an artist again. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes when I came up in music, it was a necessity. It wasn't because I really wanted to. It's because I needed to, because I was trying to get away from something.
Right, right. And that kind of brings me to my next question. When you were talking about you were born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, correct? Okay.
Yep.
And so I wanted to ask you, how was it growing up there? Because I know when I watched the documentary of, I think one of your group members, I think it was Hershey and Face. They were talking, they were. I think they're brothers. They were talking about how it was kind of hard, being in Shreveport, Louisiana. Because I've been in Shreveport plenty of times, and I wanted to ask you, how did you fall in love with R&B, and like, who were your inspirations when you were growing up back in Shreveport, Louisiana?
My inspirations were like Teddy Pendergrass, Stevie Wonder, and I used to listen to a lot of groups: Levert, Temptations, the OJs. We ain't listen to a lot of gospel in my house. So it was just always a lot of R&B. Across 110th Street, all this stuff. Like it was always some soul in the house. Though. So, but me falling in love with music, I think me started singing. I was probably about 9.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, I was just singing songs, and then it's very competitive here. So when I would go to school, it'll be dudes, like if people knew you sung something, they want to hear you sing. And if you sound good, it's a dude that sounds better than you in another class that they go to. So they want you got to beat him. So on lunch break, that's that dude they were telling you they want you to sing against. So I used to have to do that a lot, especially like in middle school.
Oh wow.
That's how my name started getting around the city. Like he can sing. Like, but I wasn't trying to be popular or nothing. Like I just enjoyed doing music. I was very shy. I was scared. I ain't like people.
Okay. So you were like an introvert. And what's crazy? Your voice reminded me so much when I listened to the album today. I was like, wow, he sounds so much like Al Green. You got this Al Green voice about you that I really, really love. That is so dope. Because I remember on the bridge part when you said Down and Out, I said, oh, that's Al Green right there. I said, that's little Al Green. I said, look at LJ sound like Al Green.
Al Green, Ron Isley, all that, like all those people, like they all play a part in my voice.
And I definitely can hear
Like,
that.
but I ain't really find who I wanted to sound like until I heard KC from Jodeci.
Wow.
When I heard him, I was like, that's the dude right there. That's who I'm gonna mark right there.
That's dope.
So him, Dino from H-Town, Lil G from Silk. I just used to listen to these people, even 112. Like when they first came out, their first album. Oh my god, I wore that CD out.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I said for me too. I listen to 90s R&B artists. That's how I learned who my people were.
Yep, Boys and Men. I like all it. Like even before them, Shy. All those groups that came out. Like I was listening to those dudes. I was very good at mimicking people. Like I can sound kind of like anybody I want to. Yeah, I can find their tone.
Cause you sound like Al Green on that part.
Real easy.
You sounded like him. I was like, wait a minute, that's Al Green right there. But I mean, I think that's dope because if you can replicate somebody's voice, that means your voice can do anything.
But Dino told me one night when I sung for him, because I sung Knocking the Boots to him in Shreveport when they came perform.
Wow.
And he was like, you sound good, but you sound just like me. What your voice said.
Wow. That's deep.
And that played in my head. They still play in my head.
Wow.
When I hear new artists, because I mock them too. I still run.
So wow, that's interesting. So okay, so now how did you meet up with your group members' profile? So how did you meet up with Hershey Face and Baby Boy? Like, how did y'all all meet up as a group? Was it in high school? And how did you guys come up with your name Profile? Because it's very unique because it's spelled with a Y, not an I. So I always want to know, how did you guys meet up and how did you guys form as the group Profile?
Okay, well, we were in high school during the time.
Okay.
I had just moved back to our old neighborhood from a school I went to, and I started going to school over there. I was at the basketball court just shooting around by myself. And Hershey walked up, and he remembered me from the other group at the other school. And he's like, hey, man, you ought to hear us now. So I walked around to the house with him, and they sung for me. It was another dude in the group, so it was 5 of us at the time when I got in the group, but he fell off. So he wanted to play football, and he wanted to have a family and stuff, so he went and did that. But I went and saw them sing, and they did. They sounded really good. And they was like, man, we got a talent show this Thursday or this Friday. And I did the talent show with them, and we was together.
Wow.
But after we formed, Face was telling me we need a manager. And he liked the manager that I had with my previous group. So he was like, man, we need to go sing for him. But that guy wasn't really trying to hear it. He ended up being our manager anyway.
Oh, wow.
But we had to sing for him. Like, we had to convince him. So once we did that, he had a car lot that we used to practice at.
Okay.
And we was upstairs, and we had a name at the time, but we was getting too old to use the name.
You remember
the name at the time was called Under 21. Yeah, it's called Under 21. Yeah, really good name. It could have been a good marketing name, but we was getting way too old, and we had been together probably like 3 or 4 years, and the name was working. We had won talent shows and all that. But so we was upstairs looking for a name, and Hershey pulled out a record, and at the time it was a record company called Profile Records.
Okay.
And it was on the album. And he was like, what if we change Profile? What if we change the I to a Y? And we was like, cool.
That's dope.
That's how we formed the name.
Well, that is dope. I mean, for you to take that and then change it, and then look how iconic your group has been for over 21 years. Like,
just Hershey being Hershey.
For Hershey, I mean,
just Hershey being Hershey.
Exactly. And then for y'all to be a cohesive group, and not even that, y'all all felt like as a whole, y'all had to, come together when it came down to singing. I think that's dope, because when you hear a lot of, groups and stuff like that happen, everybody has their own way of doing things. But for y'all to at least, like you said, y'all been together for almost at that time 4 years, to talk about what y'all wanted to come up with. Y'all worked as a team together just to prepare yourself for, going to Motown. So I was, so now I think we're in 1997, and I think y'all getting ready to go to New York. So you got a manager, you're going to New York. How did you get the record deal to Motown, or, how did you guys pretty much get to that point and things like that?
Well, before we went to New York, we went to Dallas. We went to Arlington.
Oh, wow.
There was a place called Caravan of Dreams there. And Erykah Badu was performing that night.
Okay.
We met Andre 3000 that night. And he told us something very genuine.
Aww.
Like, cause the dude we was with, he was like, man, this is a new group. They from Shreveport. He gave him the whole spiel. He was like, man, they want to sing for you. He was like, man, what I'm gonna do for them? I'm trying to get my cell phone. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, and this was before Stickerbox and Hey Ya and all this. Like, this,
Oh.
like, yeah, this when him and Erica was together.
Right.
So he was at the show, and we stood outside for like 10 hours that day singing in front of that place. And some people walked up to us who ended up giving us a production deal. They was from New York. That's Musa Moore.
Okay.
That you might see on our bio.
Okay.
We end up running into him. We end up doing a production deal with him so we can re-record some of the songs that we had. And that's how those songs got presented to Motown.
Okay. That's
Because
interesting.
at the time, a lot of those songs at that time was written by a lady named Sandra St. Victor.
Okay.
On our demo.
Okay.
She had a song on our first album called Lady.
Yeah. So you talking about from the Whispers from the first album, correct? Whispers in the Dark. Oh, that's interesting. So
she wrote a song. One of those songs from the demo got put on the first album, and she wrote pretty much our whole demo that got submitted to Motown or got submitted to Kedar Entertainment because that's what it was. That's who we got signed to. We didn't get to Motown until Kedar took over Motown as the president.
Kedar Massenberger. That's what
and he shifted off. Yeah, because he signed Erica and Chico DeBarge. And all of us were signed to Kedar Entertainment at the time, but he shifted all of us over to Motown when he took over.
Well, that's amazing. You met Andre 3000 before he became Outkast. Like,
yeah. Well, he was in Outkast, but it wasn't big. It wasn't. Yeah, the Hey Ya hoopla.
Wow. Okay, so now we're talking about, you're talking about your sound and everything else. I want to understand because I can tell that you guys are deeply grounded with R&B. And I wanted to know, you call yourself Gumbo Soul. Where does Gumbo Soul come from? And why did y'all call your music Gumbo Soul?
Gumbo Soul is, we're from Louisiana. And, in gumbo, it's a mixture of a bunch of great ingredients that come together and make one delicious soup, right?
Right.
So what we said Gumbo Soul would be is just us coming together, different ingredients, us four, putting ourselves together, making one sound that's going to be one delicious soul soup.
I think that's dope. And if you look at it now, look at people are doing with quote unquote type of gumbo, so they making trap soul. So you came up with a creative way of what you call R&B for your city, your state. But not even that,
and with us being from the South, you know what I mean? Like, but see, the crazy part was when we got signed, the people up there did not know what to do with us.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like they was trying to make us into the next Boys to Men. They were trying to find a way to make us into the next thing.
Right.
The next. We got to be the next Jodeci. We was like, why we can't be the first us? You know what I mean? Like, why we gotta be the next? You gonna be the next? This? Like, nah, I'm me. I made wonderfully me. Like, I can't be the next one yet. I don't want to be him.
Right.
I like what he do. I could take some of that. I can learn from him. But I'm always gonna put my flavor on it.
And I appreciate you.
So the second album is when we got some control. Like we got some record control. Like we was able to talk. Like we want to work with these producers. We want to dress like this. As you can see, the album covers are totally different.
Yeah, it is. It's very different, and that's why I thought it was very unique because it did. You know what? I'm not going to lie. It did remind me of Jodeci in some type of way, but y'all were like the Southern Jodeci of what we know. You know what I'm saying? And even though Joyce is from North Carolina, no shade to them. But at the same time, you were right, exactly. So, but you were creating a lane for your group from Louisiana because we haven't heard that. And like I said, for me, it was very rare that you hear a lot of Southern R&B artists. I mean, we got H-Town, they rep their city, rep their state. But somebody like a Profile coming from Louisiana, that was very different for us. So for you to do that, you wanted to make a statement for yourself. And like I said, for your second album, Nothin But Drama, I was like, that's a very interesting title because like I said, you probably were having issues with your record label. And the reason why you wanted to come at that time.
It wasn't just the record label.
A lot of
it was life.
And life in general. Exactly. All of it plays into that. And I agree with you 100% because I notice with a lot of people when they do their album titles, like I said, like I told you, Brandy's one of my favorite albums, Never Say Never. That was her second album, and she was very iconic for her because she was going in a new direction, new lane, just like Profile was, Nothin But Drama. Y'all were really making a statement to be your true, authentic selves. And so for that, I'm happy.
We really were. We really were. It was the hardest because at that age you trying to find yourself, not just musically, but you trying to find yourself. You're trying to find who you are. You're trying to develop into your greatest self. And when you got you may have certain, like if you're not coming up with a great foundation of people around you that can show you direction or point out when you're wrong in a constructive way, then it is very hard for you to grow.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you grow up around chaotic people, you're gonna become chaotic.
You better preach.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you're trying to ground yourself and you're trying to find who you are and you're not around people who know who they are.
Right.
It's very hard.
Very, very hard.
So
exactly.
That's why it takes a lot. Like artists like Brandy. She got people around her. You see what I'm saying? She got a mama. She got a brother. Like she got people that work in this industry who understand how to move and how to do things. You see what I'm saying? It's very hard when you don't come up or you find people that can help you make those type of movements.
I respect that. And that's what I'm trying to do for myself too on my page, because it's very, like I said, trust me, I've had some artists that kind of, have not taken my requests and stuff like that, but I still keep pushing. I still keep going, because at the end of the day, the door is going to open for me regardless, with or without anybody's help. You know what I'm saying?
Can't nobody, look, the universe, when you put your wants out there, everything shifts to give you what you want. But you have to be mindful of what you putting in your mind and what you putting around you.
Agreed.
Because all of that is affecting what happens to you. What's being said to you. Like you can't have those type of people that throwing negative stuff at you when you trying to be positive about what you trying, because you was given that vision. Nobody else was. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's up to you to follow that vision. Once you understand it, then it's easy for you to get what you need or what you want, because everything gonna come to you. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't have to ask nobody for nothing.
Right.
What's supposed to come gonna come. What's for you gonna be for you. Can't nobody stop you but you.
LJ, you need to be a pastor, baby. You got these people on this live loving your stuff, okay?
I'm just saying, it took me a long time to be in this place. You understand? Like, I can't say everything I did during that time was right. I can just say what I feel like I was fighting for was right. You see what I'm saying? Like, the way I went about it may not have been right. But what I was trying to accomplish was something for all of us.
All for you.
You know what I mean? Like, I was never a selfish person. I was never trying to be a solo artist. None of that shit. That shit was pushed on me by the label. Like, they was trying to get me to do it. I was like, I don't want to do it because y'all ain't got no money. Y'all ain't trying to pay me.
That's right. Especially when you're giving hits and you ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
Look. Okay.
Straight up. But that people don't understand too. When you spend that type of money on a label, like on a record, like our first album to Motown, it didn't do good. You see what I'm saying? That's why we had to start working on the second album.
Right.
L'Jai paid back the label for the first album.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but we still owe. Well, we didn't owe nothing, but we didn't really make no bread. We made money off tours and shows and stuff.
Right, which I hear all the time.
Like we went on tour with Cash Money and stuff like that, but that's the only time you really making money, because we weren't thinking about no merch and none of that stuff.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, look, but you know what? You telling your story, and that's the same thing that happened to Prince. Remember when Prince, they took his name, and I had an interview not too long ago with the 90s group Divine, and the same thing happened with them. They were saying the same story, how they were getting ripped off, how their name got stolen. That was the reason why they couldn't even go and make a second album, because their name wasn't even on. So for that name not even on, that go to show you right there that the record label, you have to be on your P's and Q's when it comes down to all the business, because it could be the music first, but it's the business first. Straight up.
It really is 90% business, 10% talent.
Okay.
But it's like even with our name, we own it.
See, and y'all
so it's like we left the label, like they still pay us. You see what I'm saying? Like we still get a check from our royalties and all that. But it's like we still own our stuff. Like we don't own the music because we didn't do a lot of that stuff when we was on Motown. We went out, they gave us a budget. We went and worked with Jonte Austin and Teddy Riley and all these people, and they got the bag. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the bag.
Well, how was it working with them in that process? Like, and that was my next question. That was great you pointed that, because how was it working with those guys? Like you said, who would have thought you were working with Steve Huff, who worked with Avant, Roy Hamilton III, Joe? Like, how was it working at that time, working on your second album? Like you said, y'all pretty much were trying to prove to the label that you really were iconic. Well, in your words, you meant something to R&B.
Well, I have to contribute a lot of it to Shantae, because the label just let us kind of do Shantae paid. the label kind of just let us do what we wanted to do. They gave us the money and they was like, y'all just get out our face. So what we did, we just went and found the songs that we wanted. You see what I'm saying? Like the first album, they pretty much picked all the songs. Like Joe did 5 songs on our first album. No, 4.5.
It's like 4.5.
Yeah, because he did some additional production on the song that we put on there from the demo.
Okay.
So he added some stuff to that song. So it's another bag for him. And Jonte and Brian Michael Cox, they did like 3 songs on our first album. So it's like they sent us to these people. Joe, when we first got to New York, we was introduced to Joe in the studio. So it's like, and he sent us songs before we met him.
Wow.
Yeah. He sent us a tape of songs.
That is dope.
Like 5 songs.
That is dope.
Yeah. I have to say, to me, like, now a lot of people, when they graduate high school, they go to college. Those people were my college.
You better preach.
You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it was like I learned so much being around Troy Oliver, Troy Taylor, Jonte. Because when I first met Jonte, we recorded some songs. We got there probably like at 9 o'clock that night. We stayed up recording till like 4 in the morning.
Wow.
The next day, Jonte asked me to stay so I can demo a song for him. I demoed the song. We came back a couple months later. He introduced me to Genuine and Uncle Sam. Wow. They recorded the song together. And they like, man, you sound good. Why you didn't get this song? I was like, I didn't know y'all was gonna be singing this song.
But
you know, so it's like I'm trying to be regular, but on the inside, I'm like, wow, I know him. Like I've been watching this dude because Genuine was genuine, you know, at the time. Just like when I met Brian and Brandon from Jagged Edge, I was like, I know them. You know what I'm saying? Like when I met KC, like all these people, like when I met what's his name, Steve Huff.
Steve Huff, yep.
Like we had rode around in the truck and all that together because he was working with Sparkle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how I met him. And he did something. I think he did a song for Joe too at the time. And it was I felt like we was handling business, like we was doing what we was supposed to be doing, like to make an album. Like, and then to have the direction of Shantae being like, yeah, that's cool. Like even on one of the songs on the album, Shantae got writer's credit because we all sat there and wrote that together. With Shantae and the producer at the producer house. Made the beat right there. We said we want a Jodeci type vibe.
And y'all did. It's
freaking me.
As that, yeah. And then I love Addicted. Addicted, oh my God. Addicted reminds me of a D'Angelo record. I love Addicted. It reminds me so much of Neo Soul. And when I thought that was so dope. And then, you know what, you hit something else too. It was one of the songs, I think it was Can We? Sounds like like you said, Genuine, it sounds like a Timbaland record. And I thought y'all was working with Timbaland too because some of the beats sound like a Timbaland.
I wish. Oh, I wish. Oh, I wish. Like, oh my God, I wish.
It sounded like something that the one you did, I think you bring out the freak with Shantae, it sounded just like a Timbaland record. I was like, did Timbaland was on the track because the beat sounds just like a Timbaland record, but it's still R&B. You know? Yeah, it was
totally R&B. I think his name is Kenneth. I forgot his last name. But when we got to his house,
Kenneth, I know exactly who you're talking about. I think it starts with an F, Fambro or something like that.
Yeah, Fambro. Kenneth Fambro. Okay. Yep. Because what's his name? John from Silk was there, and there's another dude named Tony that they write him and John write together. They both was there at the time. They was already working on some songs. They were working on the Silk song. We walked in the house because Tony sounds just like John. Vocalist, Tony sounds just like John. But when we walked in the house and we started talking to him, we were like, man, what y'all trying to do? We told him, man, we want like a 2000 Jodeci vibe. He sat there and made the beat right there.
Wow.
We called Jonte, and he wrote a hook for us over the phone for the song. But we didn't use that hook to the end part because he came over later and recorded the hook. Me and him recorded the hook. Right. Yeah, and you can hear it at the end of the song. We used part of it. But it was an amazing thing, man. It was an amazing feeling to be doing what we was doing.
So you really were with some icons. So now we're talking about icons. How did you feel? What was your reaction when Liar? Can you even talk about Liar? What how did that all came about with Liar, and how did you feel when it like hit #1?
I was blown away. Like when Teddy Riley told us it would
What? Wait a minute,
before we
time
left
out.
the
You talking
studio.
about Mr. Hitmaker himself told you was gonna be #1? What?
Yeah, he said y'all gonna be out. The song was #1 before we shot the video.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Teddy Riley told us that before we left the studio in Virginia Beach.
Wow.
Because I think that's what kind of got us in trouble too with the label. Like, I think he gave us too much information at the time.
I'm happy he did, because at the end of the day, you still not.
You know, when you're armed with information, you fight a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, people can't tell you certain things when you know better. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he sat down, like after one of our sessions, he really sat down and talked to us. He really gave us some game, like about our managers, about the label situation, like what's really going on? Like, because he was trying to figure it out. Because we had met Teddy Riley years before when we was under 21 out here, when him and Blackstreet came with Usher. And he was trying to mess with us then, but the manager we had at the time was like, nah, we cool. We was like, no, we not. Like, how we cool? We need him. Yeah, what are you saying? Yeah, Teddy was on the bus, and he was telling us to come here.
What?
Like, come here. I want to talk to y'all. Yeah, Usher broke his ankle down here that night.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you've been in the company.
He jumped off a speaker.
So you've been in the company of all these icons. Y'all was destined for greatness. That is amazing. Y'all was destined for greatness.
Yeah, but you have to know it too. You know, if you don't, again, when you grow up in chaos and they telling you ain't gonna be nothing and you don't see your greatness until you get away from them people.
That's true.
And then when you starting to see yourself in your greatness, you don't believe you deserve it. You see what I'm saying? Like, this ain't for me. I'm supposed to be around these people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I was feeling at the time. Like, I don't feel like I'm strong enough to be around these great ass people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And they telling me how good I am. Man, you sound really good. But in my mind, I'm defeating myself.
Right. You should never defeat
The only thing
yourself.
I knew I could do is sing. That's it. That's the only thing I know I can do. I can kill it in the studio. Let's go to the studio.
Well, I'm just so proud of y'all. Like I said, for Liar to come so iconic, like y'all were the staple of MTV. Y'all were number for 3 weeks straight from MTV, MTV2, and BET. Y'all were the staple. How did it feel to be your song to be the staple of like those 3 stations? Like, that's huge. A lot of people can't say that.
You're absolutely right. It was great, but it was horrible at the same time. Because when you beholden to a corporation or a network or something like that, they can tell you certain things that you got to do that can affect your pockets or affect your spins or affect your livelihood. You see what I'm saying? So we had a few phone calls where we had to get up and go do stuff we didn't want to do. You see what I'm saying? But just to keep our face on the screen. You see what I'm saying? That's why I always tell people, fame isn't all it's cracked up to be. And a lot of times it's easy to get and hard to keep, but you're gonna have to give up something.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, and that is so true. And then you know that Liar this year, one of the articles, Marcella from Berkeley, she had said that one of the top 50 songs of all time for cheating was Liar. You made the top 50 list.
I see that.
So how does it feel that people still remember you in 2020? That your group song, that Liar really, really was so iconic that it made the top 50 of cheating songs of all time. And I'm not saying that to be like cheating, guys. To think about it, it's just amazing that, regardless of that, if your song can be a category of R&B or anything of any type of topic, it's saying that it's true to what life is. You know what I'm saying? And so for me,
it really is.
I feel like, I looked at it, but I was just shocked that people still remember you guys to this day. In 2020, for somebody to write out,
I'm like that anyway. Yeah, I'm like that anyway. Anybody that be like, hey, man, I know that's that dude from, I be like, oh, God, he remember me. So, but it's, it's a good feeling, like, to just be remembered, like, again, like, you do it for that.
Yeah.
You want to be remembered for doing something great.
Right.
Like, you don't want to be remembered because of your mug shot.
Oh, no. And we got a lot of celebrities like that. So I know you were kind of talking about. Yeah, and you were talking about After Nothin But Drama.
Which breaks my heart.
And it is.
That breaks my heart. It does.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, it's the business. The business is the reason why a lot of these
It really is.
a lot
It
of
really
these
is.
artists kind of go down a spiral that, you know, they hopefully can't get off of. And like you said, sometimes you got to pull
That's
yourself out
because
there.
that's because fame is a worse drug, man. Fame is a drug within itself.
Right.
Like when you get famous, you're gonna do drugs if you
Yeah.
want them. But fame itself, to keep fame, hey man, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
To go places and get stuff for free, and you know have 1,000 people yelling your name,
Yeah.
hey man, people get addicted to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being treated like they're a king and all that. Like I never wanted to be above the people. Like I like hanging out with regular people. You see what I'm saying? Like I like being regular. I don't like being a commodity. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't care about that. They don't care about no paper towel or no cup. So I'm a spirit.
Right.
You can't pay for this. I'm way more than that green piece of paper that y'all got everybody killing each other for.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like
so true.
when you start seeing that, then you move different in this fame thing. Like I don't need fame like that. I just want to do music. That's all I ever wanted to do.
Right.
I ain't never try to be famous. Because being famous, you got to go out here and be a clown. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that. I'm not a sideshow. Yeah, I'm not that. No, I'm a grown man. I'm a walking spirit with love in my heart. You know what I mean? Like I love my people. I love everybody that love me. But if you don't, you get the hell away from me too. But
I agree.
Yeah, it's too much for this fame thing. I feel it right now.
I agree 100%. And so now your life has changed so much since you left Profile, and I know y'all did go independent. But now you're in a group called Front Cover. So can you talk a little bit about Front Cover?
Yes. Front Cover is a cover band that I work with. It's based right here in Shreveport, where I'm from. My music director, Shaka Steele.
Okay.
Yeah, you know Shaka?
No.
He the dude that do everything else besides what me and Jamil do in the
Is
drum.
he the guy that's in the group with y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen him on
yeah,
the thing,
but
that's
what I'm saying. He do all this. Stuff.
Oh wow.
He get us booked. If he needs to, he go set up all the equipment except for what we play. And hey, it's just a great situation. You know, like we've been working together probably about 7 years. Jamil been with us for about 5.
I'm proud of y'all.
So they've been helping me grow as a performer, especially being like a front man. Like I always been a lead singer, but as an entertainer, like entertaining a room full of people just by myself with my words and my voice, I ain't never had to do that. I always had like background singers or background dancers or something.
Right.
So they've been helping me as a performer, as a instrumentalist. I can play in front of people now without being scared and messing up. So like I didn't grow up with all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was so nervous to be myself because if you ain't no gangster around here, you corny, and I ain't with all that. You corny being a grown gangster.
Right.
So
that's true.
If you out here 35 claiming a gang, you need to kill yourself. I'm sorry.
I agree with you 100%. Have you still talked to your group mates since since y'all days? That's really good.
Yeah, we check on each other. You know, like it's just life, man.
Yeah.
Like this business again. If you're not mentally, spiritually prepared, it can destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you have to be prepared. Like you have to have a great foundation around you. And for most of us in the group, we had to regroup. You know what I mean? Like that did a lot.
Yeah.
It did a lot. It was a lot of trust that you lose with people when you go through stuff like that.
Right.
No. And it wasn't even my group members like that. It was
the outside.
It was just the business itself. Yeah, it was just everything else. You know, you ain't got people around you that's giving you good advice.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of them people, they just out for themselves and what they getting out the situation anyway, where they bag it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like I don't have to cater to that no more. You see what I'm saying? I feel so much freer.
It's feel liberating.
Yeah. And now I can create at my own expense. I can put out what I want to. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to wait on a label. I don't have to be accepted because I know it's an audience out there for what I'm doing.
Oh yes.
So
definitely for sure.
I just what I'm doing right now on Front Cover, we just building our fan base. Like the bigger the fan base get when we put out a record, we know it's gonna be okay. You see what I'm saying? Like so I don't mind doing this grind right here. Like my timeline ain't everybody else's.
Yeah.
So I ain't trying to move the way everybody move and trying to do what everybody else do. I'm cool with what I'm doing. Because when I get in front of people, they know, they feel what I'm doing.
And that's amazing. And that's what you got to be. You got to be your own self. You got to be liberating. You got to be true to yourself. And I think, like I said, I always keep referring to Brandy because, I mean, for me, her album B7, she kind of definitely talked about what you just talked about. She was liberated. She was free from what she did. And I think because she went independent, she's talking a lot more about what she went through. And I think, like you said, people need to understand and hear that, not even just what you went through, but people from the same perspective can go through the same thing what you had went through, so you can be help saving a life. So, and I think this is dope.
And that's why I don't mind sharing my story. You know what I mean? That's why I don't mind sharing what I've been through because I know it's gonna help somebody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, but I always tell people what I went through is not your story.
Your story.
Your road is totally different. This is my experience. This is my perspective of my experience.
Right.
So you're gonna go through what you go through. I can tell you what I would have done.
Right.
Everybody gonna tell you what they would have did if they ain't in that situation.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like anybody who box can tell you how to fight until they get punched in the face.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true. So now, so we're on our second to last question. If you can describe one word from the album Nothin But Drama, what would it be? I have a word for it already.
I do too. Drama.
You said drama.
Yeah, that's why we called it that, because the whole making of the album, like musically, was great. But a lot of the stuff we was going through was drama. Like I was breaking up with my girlfriend.
Is that what inspired the song Liar?
That's what made me be like, yeah, I need to sing this. Exactly. That was the reason I was like, yeah, I can, because they used to always have a problem with me because they'll pick songs, but I have to sing and I'll be like, I don't want to sing it. Y'all go sing it.
Right.
But the label was always, LJ gonna sing every song. Those guys can sing. That's why y'all signed us. But as soon as we get to the studio, y'all telling the producers don't let nobody else sing but me.
Right.
I go in there and tell them we're gonna do two different versions. I'm gonna sing the song, and then whoever else gonna sing the first verse, and then we're gonna send them both.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like trying to give everybody a shot, because I ain't trying to be no solo artist.
Right. I agree. And I
like being in my group.
Right, I agree. But for me, well, you said drama, but I think for a fan like me, I would say it was an anthem. The reason why I said it was an anthem for me, yes. Because at that time, like you said, you were talking about TLC and all the people that were kind of making these songs about, men, about how the way, I wouldn't say male bashing, but at the same time, it's men that, were mistreating, women and stuff like that. And I think for y'all took a male perspective and y'all made an anthem off of it. And I think it was so dope. And for me, I'm just so proud of you guys because I think, LJ, you were really telling your story to everybody to understand how this music business works. But I think for me, when I listen to the album, it is really, truly a lot of gumbo soul. And I think the anthem from there is really, really just amazing and dope. And they about to kick us off the live in a minute and 30 seconds. So, but I was just,
for real?
Yeah, they are. Because we've been a little bit, almost an hour. So, but I call it an anthem and I'm really proud of you because I think at the end of the day is, regardless of what you went through, you say it's drama, but it was an anthem for us, for the millennium kids. And I'm so proud of that.
During the drama time.
Yeah.
That's for y'all drama.
During our drama time. But we got 1 minute and 10 seconds left. But do you have any last words you want to say on the live? And, just thank you so much for doing this for me. And just congratulations on 20 years of an iconic album.
I just want to thank you for asking me to do this because, Amen. It's I had a great time. I had a great time during the album. I'm having a great time talking to you. Everybody who tuned in, I just want to say hey and thank y'all for tuning in. And maybe we can do this again sometime when pandemic go away. Yeah, we dropped the record.
Oh, y'all
we dropped the record, definitely.
Okay, well, you definitely.
I say when we dropped the record.
When you dropped the record. Okay, well, you definitely got to send that to me. And I'm just so proud of you and just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart because, like I said, regardless of what you went through, you are still a phoenix that rose from the ashes. So. I'm proud of you for that. And thank you so much. Like, tell your group members I said hello. I know Donnie follow me now, so I'm excited. So I was like, somebody from Profile. But no matter what, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, talk to him too. Get his perspective too if you need to.
You
know what I mean? Like, talk to everybody because we all went through something. You know what I mean? We all have our own story to tell. So
definitely. God bless you. They're about to cut us off.